You're experiencing the Authentic Chaos podcast, an exploration of our inner selves and journeys of self-discovery. I'm your host, Vahagan Yarnosian, and you may notice that there are some changes this year. We are no longer just audio only. We now have video technology. I want to start this year with some intentions. The new year is upon us, and people are picking resolutions. And I think it's important to have intentions along with resolutions. I have intentions for myself, and I want to create intentions for this podcast and the community that we have around it. Many of you who have listened so far, to you I say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for engaging. The strength of this movement comes with the community and how engaged the community is. So one of my intentions for this year is to improve the experience for you, the audience, to really understand the messages I'm trying to convey. And through that, I want to provide this medium of showing you my body language and the body language of my guests. Because communication is a very small part of communication is actually verbal. A lot of it is nonverbal. And you could get some of that through my tone if you're just listening, and you will still have the same full experience if you just want to listen to audio. But if you want to take the time and really get the full meaning of my words, then I'm providing you the video experience as well, where you can see my body language and the body language of my guests. And through that, we can convey even greater meaning. So that's the first intention for the podcast, increasing engagement with the community. But I also want to work on reiterating and re-emphasizing some of the intentions that I initially had when creating this podcast. Because listening in on some of my episodes again and doing a retrospective, I realized I may not have been clear as to why I'm doing this. What is the point of the Authentic Chaos podcast? And I will start now. Before I answer that question, I will ask a couple questions to you. Do you ever feel like there is some sort of hole in your soul that you aren't getting fulfilled in the ways that you thought you would be? Maybe your job is no longer fulfilling you. Maybe your relationships are no longer fulfilling you. Maybe your hobbies are no longer fulfilling you. And maybe you feel ashamed because of that lack of fulfillment. Maybe you feel sad because of it. I'm here to tell you that's not uncommon. And it's also not uncommon to want to fill that hole with other things like career, hobbies, relationships, even things like alcohol. But those holes sometimes keep coming back. Those pains come back. I want you to know that you are not alone in experiencing these lacks of fulfillment. I think it's very common. Many of my colleagues I've talked to, and even people like older than me and younger than me, feel a similar hole within them. Maybe there are different reasons, but it's a similar expression and similar feeling. And I experienced this myself. And I want you to know that the answer isn't outward, it's inward. Once we understand ourselves and once we appreciate our shadows, the parts of us that feel uncomfortable to deal with, that seem like monsters hiding in the darkness, but are actually parts of us. And once we understand those shadows, we can truly embrace our authentic chaos. This chaos isn't well understood by others and may not be understood by us. I've made this point many times in season 1. But this chaos is us. It's our inner voice. It's our soul. It's our consciousness. It's who we are. And when we embrace it, we can be authentic. So this podcast is intended to be a revolution of authenticity. I want you, dear listener, to really reflect on who you are and the parts of you that might be uncomfortable. And I'm going to help you with that reflection through more discussions of inner thoughts, vulnerabilities, shadows, more conversations with colleagues, and just deep diving into who we are on a deeper level when we pass all the surface things, past the masks that people put out for themselves. When you no longer live with masks, when you live an authentic existence, you don't have to worry about putting on a face for someone or lying to someone, because you will always be you. You will have a solid foundation, a North Star, if you will. You will never be lost. You will never be unshaken once you embrace your chaos with kindness. So let's join together in this new year, and let's join in this revolution of authenticity and create a voice, a communal voice of being us. And so throughout the year, if you have topics you want to talk about, or if you want to express your own topics on this podcast, please reach out. Together, let's make the world a kinder place by making the world a more authentic place. Thank you so much for listening. As I said, and I will keep reiterating, embrace your chaos with kindness. Thank you.